Afternoon, good night. How you doing? This is MCM and you're listening to You're Probably Right. Today we are going to have a serious conversation. Well, maybe not a serious conversation, but there's going to be a serious talk happening here. Now, of course, I'm only doing the talking, but just stay tuned. Hello, y'all. What's up? This is MCM, and you are listening to You're Probably Right podcast. This episode is 224, and it's called You Probably Don't Want to Hear This, but I'll answer anyways. So I hope you're good there. Hope everything is good since the last time you listened to me, and I hope you're having a good old time, whatever it is you're doing, whether you're at work, whether you are at school, whether you're just walking the mall, sitting at a beach, shoveling the snow, in the waiting room, wherever. What up, y'all? You're listening to You're Probably Right podcast. I'm your host, MCM, and let me remind you, as I say everything twice, as you can see, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. I don't profess to be a professor of anything except for a professing Christian, and that's about it. But if you've been around for a while, you already know. What I say is not rehearsed, certainly not polished, and it's definitely not filtered through any PR team or anything. Today's episode is different, guaranteed. Well, different than most, at least. Some of my earlier ones are probably something like this. I'm not here to defend men. I'm not here to protect an image, not even mine. I'm here to answer the questions that most guys avoid, dodge, or smooth over because they don't want to deal with the fallout, especially if their ex or current partner or future women might be listening. These are the kind of questions that make women roll their eyes or squint really hard at the man they thought they knew. Questions that, if answered honestly, will probably lead to, "That's not true for my man," or "That's not what you said back then," or worse, "Wow, so you were lying the whole time." These are the questions that don't make us look great, or at least, I guess, me, if I were to answer, or anybody else were to answer, right? Which I'm going to. But they do make us human. So whether you're listening to catch me slipping, waiting to hear me say something that sounds familiar, or trying to figure out what the average man don't want to say out loud, today's the episode for you. You've been warned, so let's go. All right. So the first set of questions, 10 questions. This segment we'll call Control, Comfort, Quiet Selfishness. Oh man, I'm just chilling. Listening to music here. Unfortunately, I've decided not to put music in the background. It's probably good for some. I know most podcasts don't do it, at least in long form. It's probably annoying, but I've done it for a lot of my episodes. But of course, when I actually record, I'm actually listening to music. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I don't know if I drowned out reality or something, or it's soothing. I listen to like these instrumentals. Not that you asked, but I just figured I'd tell you. All right. First question. Let's get right into it. Listen, I do not know what these questions are going to be. I'm just warning you. I'm not planning to smooth over anything, but of course, if I have to protect anybody who has nothing to do with this podcast and they live a private life, then I'm going to do my best not to dime anybody out in that way. Any answers I give, listen, as I said, entertainment purposes only. So if it bears a resemblance to the life of anybody who is living or who has passed on, it's just a coincidence, as they say. All right, first question. If you could emotionally check out of a relationship and still keep the benefits, would you? And have you ever done that? No. I would check out period out of the relationship altogether. I think one time in my whole life, um, I thought, like, from talking to someone on the phone once, that we were a good match or whatever it is. And we did actually meet up and spent a day together. And every reveal as the day went on, I realized that this person was not for me at all. And they, for some reason, were tickled pink. And I couldn't wait to get out of there. So, yeah. But that's the closest I came to anything like that. So, no, why would I stay in a relationship if I knew, like, I don't believe in the friends with benefits whole lifestyle, because eventually something's going to go off and somebody's going to get hurt. Usually, if there's two people who say they want friends with benefits, there's somebody who catches feelings, and it usually ends up horribly in my, at least from what I've heard, from what I've seen. But, you know, there's so many people on this earth. Why would you stay with somebody just for carnal reasons? I mean, we're only getting older. And of course, the older that I've gotten, I believe this is to be more true, because there's going to come a point in time, probably, when most of us will not be seeking the intimate sexual type of relationship, even if we have a partner. I mean, maybe not, right? Because we're not all going to live to 107, but um, it's just my thing. I honestly, I haven't done it, and I wouldn't do it. It's just not my thing. It's unfulfilling, and I think it's wrong. You know, go find somebody who you really want to be with. I mean, let's just say that part of your day is an hour, and that's crazy for most people. Let's just say it's 15 minutes, and then what? Like, you guys got nothing else going on? No, I wouldn't do it. I haven't done it. All right, next question. When you said "I'm fine," what were you really hoping she would ask then, or ask next? Well, I don't do that. I'm fine. Let's see. If I ever, let's see. Like I said, this is the first time I'm reading them as well. So I don't want to be prepared. I'd rather, like, just be off the cuff. It's better for you because maybe something will fly out of my mouth. Um, I'm fine. Um, I can't say honestly that I've never, like, like, what do you call it? Sulked, or I mean, I know a lot of us, we say we're fine, and sometimes we're not really fine, but it's maybe we want the person to dig a little bit more. But usually, if I ever said that in my past, it would have been like, I expected you to know already what the issue was. And I'm a pretty good nonverbal communicator. So I always think that the other person does know. There's no secrets. I'm not trying to have the person try to, what's it called? Like, read my mind, in a sense. Like, you probably already know. If but I don't usually, like, I'm fine. I think I try to say what's real, unless, maybe I was in a situation where I was just trying to hold on to whatever was left of the relationship. So maybe I would be less likely to spill the beans, as they say. I am turning away when I'm coughing, guys. Sorry, I don't know why I'm coughing. Well, obviously something's tickling my throat. All right. Number 3. Have you ever stayed with someone just because it was cheaper, easier, or made more sense logistically? No. I'm I can't say I've never done anything the easy way, but to say that I would want to stay with someone so that, let's say, I wouldn't have to pay child support, or we wouldn't have to pay two rents, or we wouldn't have to buy two beds for a kid, or like any of that kind of nonsense. No, I haven't. I'd rather suffer. Um, so no, I've never done that, nor would I do that. Number four, do you think women actually want honesty, or do they just want honesty that makes them feel secure? Um, I think I would say some do. You know, women generally, in my experience, want to know what it is, what's real. Um, they don't necessarily want to be hurt, but they want the truth, so they know how to guard themselves. And in the past, I was that guy who would pretty much never ever lie to a woman unless I thought me telling the truth meant she was going to leave me, and I'm just being honest. Um, but would I again? No. My goal, honestly, would be to be as honest as possible. You know, I've been booted out, out of relationships before, so it's at this point I would kind of like just get it over with. So I think that most women want the truth. I mean, obviously, we hope against all hope what the truth is, but I believe that women want the truth no matter what. Even if they're going to cry, even if they're going to lose their mind, argue, slap you across the head, kick you out of the room, kick you out of the house, they'd rather have the truth no matter what, I believe. Number five. Remember, this segment is called Control, Comfort, and Quiet Selfishness. Okay, I gotta turn my face again. Maybe I can just pause this thing. Let's see. Let's try that way. That didn't work. Oh, I got too many things on this screen. Here we go. Let's try this. That was better. All right. Learning all the time. Okay, did I read this one? No. Let's see. What do you do when you start losing interest, but don't want her to notice just yet? Hmm. Well, I don't know. I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't get into that many situations, that many relationships. So I don't really kick too many tires. When I make a decision that I'm getting in a relationship, I generally know what I'm getting into. I look over things, many times before I get into something, even as quick as it might be. But at the same time, I believe that people are multifaceted and there's multi levels, many levels, multi levels. I was gonna say something else. There's many levels to a person, so you might just be, they could be in a rough patch, as they say, or you could be in a valley, not a mountaintop experience with that person. So I believe if you wait a while, then some of the things that maybe first attracted you to that person in the first place might rear themselves again. So I don't really look at situations as all of a sudden I'm losing interest. If I don't believe, if you're in a relationship, like you've decided to be in a relationship with somebody, and like you just lose interest, people interest me. So maybe it'd be harder for me to lose interest. Maybe off, a day, just the person's just on some nonsense, and you don't have interest in what they're on that day. But there's always tomorrow. So yeah. Next question. Do you ever miss someone you treated badly, but still feel like you wouldn't go back? Do you? Um, Being an introvert, I don't know that I technically miss people. too much. Like maybe I do, but I don't remember myself really treating anybody badly. I know I've behaved badly and maybe broke a covenant or two. But I wouldn't go back. Like, I guess I can just think of past, marriage. Um, I wouldn't go back because the way it ended is like the person I was being ousted. And I tried against all hope to try to fix things and make them better. I tried to prove that I was the one, and I tried to prove that I would do better. And by that time, the person was already so jaded that it didn't matter what I did, what I said. It was already, finished. So as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to relationships ending, I try to beat them like a dead horse. I don't try to let go, if the other person's willing. But I mean, if the person stops talking or doesn't want to hear from you or just wants to be away from you all the time, then I guess the message is kind of clear. Um, but if I saw somebody on the street or somebody called me and want to have a conversation for whatever reason, maybe they wanted closure or maybe they really wanted to know what was up, maybe I was off or something like that, I would be willing for that part of it. But I don't know if people decide or want or think that they need to be needed by their significant other in all cases. I don't know. Because maybe that causes pressure for some people. Me, I'm so used to doing so many things on my own and entertaining myself and having my own fun or just doing my own thing that I love people and I like to be around people. I don't like to be the focus of attention, but if somebody didn't want to be around me or doesn't want to be with me, then it is what it is. You know, I wouldn't go back to somebody who doesn't want me or might change their mind. So I would have to be crystal clear, and if there was a situation where the person ended things and they knew where I stood and I didn't want to, then they would definitely couldn't just weasel their way back in without some explanations and clarity over the whole situation, because I would need to know it's not going to break up again. That's just me. Next question. If your partner suddenly stopped initiating affection, but everything else stayed the same, how long would you last? um I would probably last till the end of time, but I wouldn't be happy. And I mean, if this is a marriage, then I would hope that I would try my best to communicate and let them know, how I'm feeling about situations and try to figure out if there's something that we could do. I mean, they wouldn't have to initiate because I can initiate, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's lovely and nice to be wanted, even as a guy. I know it seems like women think that we're always ready to go and ready to, jump their bones and ravage them or whatever it is. But sometimes we want things initiated as well. But it says if they suddenly stop, that would insinuate that they were at some point initiating. So I would try to have a talk and see what was going on and see if there's something we could fix or something that I could change, or maybe I need to take 3 showers a day. Like, I'm just being honest. I honestly, I don't believe that you should be throwing away committed relationships for nonsense. There's ways to fix things. I don't think most times I don't think things are beyond repair. right? Unless there's probably some excessive stuff happening outside of the relationship that shouldn't be happening. Or you got a sneaky person who wants to stay in contact with exes and stuff like that while being with you or whatever the case is, then, they can go be with your exes. You know what I mean? But no, just affection, but everything else is right. I would just try to fix that part of it, because beyond that, it's like your roommates, and I don't need a roommate or a sister or a brother in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like it's not my thing. Some people will stick around with you just to be cozy and nice, but they want the other part to be dead. I've seen it, experienced it. Um, do you ever think about your plan B woman? Someone you could have had but didn't pursue. No, no. As I'm going through the Rolodex of my mind, I don't keep one in the cut. Some people do that. Have a plan B, have a way out, an escape clause person. No. I mean, I've thought about my past, or like things that dealt with or done or whatever it is, or people I've been around or with or whatever it is, but I haven't, like, oh, I wonder if my life would be different. I wonder if my kids would be taller if I'd stay. Like, no, I don't look at life like that. I move on. Number 9. Do you think most women would still choose you if they really knew how often you doubted yourself? Well, I guess maybe most women wouldn't. Apparently, apparently, women want a confident man, not too cocky, or even a little cocky, but not a jerk. But I think, I believe in helpmates, right? I believe that a woman is there to be a help to a man, and I believe that she serves the purpose to. Although I should have my own drive, I believe that it's nice to have somebody believe in you, who just gives you that extra push that you didn't have on your own to do something. You know, somebody who motivates you to push further than you would normally push. I believe that's one of the purposes of having a wife, is someone to fight for, someone to provide for, and strive to be better, like myself, in for myself to be better, to go maybe one step farther than I thought I could do on my own. Next question. What's something you faked emotionally to avoid a confrontation? I was just laughing. I was thinking about food, but I don't think I've ever faked that I like, oh, this is good steak, even though it's like ready to moo at you. No. Have I faked emotionally to avoid a confrontation? Oh, maybe, you know what? Maybe I've faked when I've like been with somebody or whatever it is, and maybe I saw them take a peek at a guy that I thought was probably their type even more than me, and I, like, you kind of try to catch their eye to see, and maybe I've faked like, but that's, it says emotionally, so not really. Like, I would say in that case, I've like looked and just pretend I just played it off like I didn't see nothing when I saw, you know. But emotionally, no, I don't fake my emotions. I wear my heart on my sleeve, so that'd be a real tough task for me. All right, we got through the first 10. Second says segment is called silence, games, and emotional rehearsals. All right, let's see how this one is. Have you ever felt safer in silence than in love? All the time. And I mean, silence, I guess they're saying alone. Um, when you're in love and you're with someone, you're always just still assuming that you're being judged in some kind of funny way. When I'm in silence or alone, there's no judgment, right? Who am I scared of? What could happen being alone, right? That didn't happen the day before. My judgments are usually pretty good, so it's not like I always need somebody to help me make decisions. So yeah, that's simple. 12. Do you ever secretly test your partner's loyalty or patience without telling her? Hmm. I mean, I'm the guy who maybe will walk a couple out. Maybe if I see something afoot, I might step back a little bit and and observe to see if a girl I'm with or whatever, wife or whatever, girlfriend is like trying to chat up somebody. I might step off, or I've done it before. I remember back in the day, I think I was at a club, a wife or something like that, and was it a wife? Or was it a girlfriend? Anyhow, I kind of stayed back. I noticed somebody was really close, so I kind of stepped out of the way. I mean, I could have stayed there like the blocker and hey, buddy, move it. That's mine. But there's been a couple times where I've like stepped back just to see what she would do. That'd be about it. That's like the biggest test, I guess. Um, I think you shouldn't test people beyond what you can handle if they fail the test. So I think if you can end anything that might be trouble or cause a problem, I think you should just end it and stop putting people through tests. Just my opinion. 13. What's one toxic behavior you still haven't completely unlearned? Mm, I think just holding things in. I know people don't think that's toxic, but when you really have something to say and it's on you, and you need to get it out so you can kind of clear the air at some level, but holding it in and then staying kind of miserable for a while because you weren't able to clear the air, and you maybe weren't able to get the answers that you wanted. So I would say that'd be about it. It's just being as honest, open and honest as possible, even when it's uncomfortable. I think that's something that I haven't totally unlearned yet, is that I just need to say it. Hey, I'm not cool with this, or hey, I'm not cool with that. It's like, but it's like at the same time, it's like you don't want to be nitpicking and you don't want to jump down their throat for every little thing. So finding that balance, I think, is important. Have you ever told a woman that she was the one when you weren't even sure you believed in that idea anymore? No. I mean, I did tell somebody with I thought they were the one, but I think at that time I was already just reeling. Like, I think there's a lot of things that I've probably said in my past just to maybe just to let somebody feel better about the situation, even when again, maybe I wasn't 100% sure. So maybe that would be one of those toxic behaviors that when I really think of it, it's just something that probably does not need to be done either. But I mean, if I know that I'm with someone and I think, um, if we work together and we're compatible, we enjoy each other's company and everything is, then I mean, I think someone can be the one if they work at it, because no relationship is going to be perfect. So, but I mean, as far as just saying, oh no, you're the one, and I didn't believe it, like, why would I say it? 15. What do you believe about love now that you would have argued against 10 years ago? I think what I've learned now is that you just need to give things time. Um, I think that was my biggest mistake, was not realizing that the peaks and valleys. I like, when you're happy, you think you're going to be happy forever. When you're miserable, you also believe you're going to be miserable forever. It's like something has to change, and it's like you start looking for a way to be happy. And if that doesn't include your spouse or the person you're with, then you're asking for trouble. So I think now I would just say that if things go left for a while, even a month, even a year and a half, there's still a chance that you can work at it and make things better. So you shouldn't give up just because you're not exactly as happy as you thought you would be, and you're not in a you're not on a mountaintop experience right now with your spouse. Give it a chance. Always keep the lines of communication open. Always be willing to listen about how somebody else feels, and always be willing to tell somebody how you feel. And don't always let your feelings guide how you will behave and react. 16. Have you ever respected a woman but still lied to her to protect your peace? Yes. That's what I said earlier. I mean, I've lied in my marriage, probably just because I like I knew that it was volatile by then, and I just wanted to like keep the peace, and I wanted to keep things together. I didn't want to be booted out of the relationship. So you know, and it wasn't necessarily all around cheating. It was just the fact of being out there and knowing how like you're with somebody, and like certain things are just gonna like go up the, like maybe not divorced, but maybe you'll be in an argument for a week or a whole weekend. So, but honesty is always the best policy. I mean, there's certain things you don't necessarily have to tell, but when it comes to just straight up flat lying, no, you gotta tell the truth. It's just not worth it in the end. I mean, look, I've done those little slow call white lies or whatever, just there's stuff just to keep the peace, and still ended up alone anyways, right? Sooner than later is probably better, I would say, in most cases. So tell the truth. Maybe you can smooth it over if you tell the truth, but if you hide it and then it pops out later, it's always two times worse. Or you're just taking days off your own life. You might find out that it's no big deal. It's something that you were freaking out about and hiding. Do you think, this is 17, do you think men actually want emotional, intelligent women, or just women who know when to say less? No. I would personally, I would prefer an emotionally intelligent woman. Someone who cares about how she feels, and someone who cares about how I feel and others feel. Not someone who's like so far up their own behind that they don't know what else is happening around them. That's no fun. And just for like you want to be around somebody who shuts up or say less? Nah. Why? You're the wrong person probably then if you don't even want to hear them, right? If you don't like the sound of my voice, why are you with me? Anyways, 18. Have you ever weaponized distance just to feel like you had control again? No. I know people do that, but distance isn't my thing. I like closeness. And I find myself, I think I'm a very personable person. So I like the little intricacies of a relationship. So I'm not going trying to go and hide from my spouse. Or if it's just a relationship and I need to just like ignore you to keep to make remain to maintain control. No, I've seen it where you can tell when somebody's kind of lost it a little bit, and you can tell when you kind of have a little more hand in the situation, a little more control, but that doesn't last. Sometimes we do things that naturally help us maintain control, those things, but I don't plan those out or weaponize them. 19. What's a trait you loved in your ex that you're too proud to admit you still look for in every woman? Um, Too proud to admit? I'm not too proud to admit it though. Organization. People who make lists. I'm fond of people who make lists, and I admire people who make lists and are able to stick to them and really go through a list and hit everything. I try to keep these mental ones, and of course, when you keep the mental ones, unless you're really on your p's and q's, you can forget to do things. So I admire people who like to make lists and who like to run them through, and get everything on the list done. Let's see. 20. If you knew your ex would listen to this episode, what's one thing you'd admit now that you never had the guts to say? Oh, hmm. What would I say that didn't have the guts to? Hmm. Honestly, nothing that I can think of right now. You read it again. If you knew your ex was going to listen to this episode, what's one thing you'd admit? Hmm. I don't know. I sorry, don't know. All right, moving right along. Segment 3: self protection, ego, and truths. Last 10 questions. Moving right along. 37 minutes. Pretty good. Okay. What's something she thought you loved about her, but you were really just tolerating? Ah, um, there's nothing. There's nothing that I was told. That's funny. I'm just laughing. I mean, it probably sounds suspicious or whatever, but um, no, there's nothing. I just find it funny. Well, why would you tell somebody you love something about them and you're just tolerating it? Um, okay, here's something. Maybe sometimes you enjoy a person's sense of humor. Maybe you tell them that you enjoy their the fact that they like to laugh, but sometimes their jokes suck. But the thing is, nobody's gonna be 100 when it comes to jokes. You know what I mean? Like at some point, you're gonna tell some joke when you're with somebody for a long time that they might find stupid. So I guess not. That'd be the closest thing, but no, there's nothing really. I love your bad breath. No, I don't know. That's crazy. I don't know. All right. Although, no, I was gonna say somebody's actually said that they like when I stink sometimes. That's funky, fresh. I thought that was funny to me. Anyhow, have you ever started in an argument just to create space without having to ask for it directly? No, that's one of those things that I hate. People who start fights just so they can make an excuse to maybe go out with their friends, or so they can be over sit on the couch for the whole day, and you have to go elsewhere and just pass them by and all that nonsense just because they want some space. Just ask for some space, or just say you'd like to do something, or you need some quiet time today or something by yourself, and take it, I guess, if that's what you need. I would just hope that I wouldn't pick somebody who is a person like that, who needs to literally take space from me. Like, I believe you'd get space anyways, but if you directly need to be away from me and this is what you need, I don't know. It's a little bit suspect, as they say. But what do I know? Okay, here we go. Hold on, let me just move this thing. All right, that's better. All right, 23. Is there a part of you that actually feels relief when a woman walks away first? I could think of my like maybe when I was a teenager kind of girlfriend times. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, I would. I think there was a time. There was one girlfriend that I had for 2 years, and things were kind of wrapping up on their own, I think. And I didn't want to be the person who dropped them. I didn't want to hurt their feelings. So I think I kind of ushered her down the road to give me the boot. And I think I felt good about it because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I didn't want to have them a whole bawling session. Although, like, it's not like I convinced her or mind melded her into believing that we needed to break up. She was down there. I just kind of asked if that's what she wanted to do and kind of let her down the path of breaking us up. And I think it worked out better because I already knew what was definitely happening. And she got to make the choice. And I think it worked out better. Some people can't take that rejection or being left. And I think she was one of those people. So that was a good choice, I think. Is there a part of you that actually feels relief? Hmm. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Yeah, so I definitely, yeah, I definitely felt relief. Yeah. Okay. 24. Have you ever held back growth because you knew she wouldn't be able to handle the next version of you? Held back growth? Mm, maybe in word. Maybe there was something that I believed that maybe I didn't believe before. That I took my time in saying because they met you away, and then all of a sudden maybe your beliefs switched a little bit, and you had to take your time before you kind of presented this new idea. So I've been down that road, which I guess was growth, which was better understanding, and I had to, like, with try kids gloves try to explain it over time how I was seeing things. Not that I believe the person ever really caught on to what I thought. I wasn't so forceful with it because they seemed to be stuck in that realm. 25. What's a moment with a woman you still replay, not because it hurt, but because you caused the silence that followed? Hmm. Well, I think when I recognized someone stepping away from me and I knew that it was like everything was ending, I kind of I just kind of sat in the silence, you know? I wasn't going to, find things to say when they didn't really want to say anything and they were kind of done. I just kind of let it be. So I just kind of endured and sat in the silence as well. But hmm. but I don't really replay anything, you know. Yeah, there's nothing that I replay like, ooh, I should have done it this way, or ooh, I should have done it that way. Have you ever been more emotionally intimate with someone who wasn't your partner and convinced yourself it wasn't cheating? No. I mean, I know that we've all probably had friends that maybe were more, you could, I was the kind of person where I could, what's it called? Compartmentalize things. And the way I see it is in general, unless I would have literally have to pass away and everybody would have to get together and tell their stories. And I think if there's 10 people that knew me, they could get together when I passed away and have conversations, and many of them might know something about me that the others didn't know. Very possible, but probably not including my significant other if that was the case, because I would love, and my whole plan would be, if I'm going to be with somebody, is for them to know everything about me and me to be 100% open with them. And I hope they'd be open with me as well, like that. But as far as other people, but no, I don't believe in being more intimate with just randoms, you know, or coworkers, or your neighbor. I don't like that stuff. You always feel like you're backstab. I feel like you're backstabbing your partner when you're getting like emotionally intimate with someone who is not. And that just means that if you have those things, I believe there's stuff that you need to work on so that you can tell those things to your spouse. Because this is the person you're choosing for life. That's the way I look at it. 27. What's one moment of vulnerability you gave that was either ignored, misunderstood, or used against you? I honestly can't remember, but I know that many things have been when I've said, said stuff, um, like, maybe guys this way or guys that way, or guys have a hard time with this. And I've like totally broke it down for a person before. And then it still somehow gets used against you. Like, and probably when it's happening, I'll be like, but I explain this to you. This is something that I go through, or this is something that guys go through. So, and I said it to safeguard our situation, our conversation, our relationship, so that you would understand when the situation happened or whatever. You'd see the other side of it, and it seemed like the person either ignored the conversation, pretend the conversation didn't happen, or when the situation arose, it was like, too bad, I'm living in the moment and I can't hear what you explained to me on this topic before. It's a little bit frustrating, I would say. 28. If no one would judge you, would you actually want monogamy forever, or does part of you just fear the cost of being honest? No, I would definitely want monogamy forever with the person I want to be with. I don't, guys who just need to be off with randoms, it's like, don't you desire just to have one person? I believe anybody who needs to have more than one partner, like literally, like they love their partner loves them, they're taking care of their partner's needs, and their partner is taking care of their needs. If you need another person, then I believe something's either wrong with your relationship, wrong with you, wrong with your partner, but probably mostly with you, because you should be able to be, well, in a perfect world, I guess, or a perfect relationship, I guess, although people say there are none, you would be able to go to your partner and say, this is the issue, wife, husband, and we need to work on this because I'm not happy. And I don't want to be looking for another person because you're my person. 29. What's something you loved about being loved, or maybe love about being single, that you never told your partner, even though you missed it? Probably just being able to do what I want when I want to do it. Or even better, if I don't really want to do anything at all, I'd rather not do anything and not have to jump and go and smell the roses when I just want to sit on my butt at home. I don't know, something like that. Even the snow. Here's something. It snows in Toronto, and sometimes I realize it's just a dusting and it doesn't need to be shoveled, or because maybe I drive a car that can go over the snow at a certain level. There's certain times I just don't shovel the snow, and there's just no one there to say, hey, go shovel the snow, we need to have it clear, I don't want to fall. So I mean, just stuff like that, I guess. And last question: have you ever apologized just to end the conflict, even though you knew she was wrong and would never admit it? I've had to apologize many times when I knew I wasn't wrong. The issue is sometimes you realize that the person's wrong, but you've also realized that you're causing a problem by being, like, just being stubborn on a situation. Sometimes you need to, like, some people need things to unfold for them to like see the error of their ways, and there's no point in you just holding. Sometimes you can just apologize just because maybe you don't apologize because you think you're wrong, because then you're lying. But if you know that you're causing a conflict or a rift or a problem just because you're trying to be right, it's not worth it. Anyhow, if you made it this far, then congratulations. You either really care or you're just nosy. But either way, what you heard today was the stuff that men rarely say out loud, I guess. Not really. It didn't get that juicy. But not because it's a lie, not because we don't feel, but because a lot of men live in spaces where emotional honesty is very, very expensive and it'll come back to bite you in the boot later. Where telling the truth might cost you your image, your peace, or your relationship. So, anyways, so if something in this episode triggered you, good. If it challenged you, your assumptions even better. And if you're my ex, yeah, I knew you might listen, but this wasn't about you. This was about all of us. The ones who stayed quiet, the ones who tried to do right, the ones who still don't have all the answers, but know they're not alone. Anyhow, guys, I'm MCM, and this is and was. You're probably right. Take care and see you next time. Hey, come check out You Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, very few topics off the table, hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere.